First this evening, let's queer up the world view. Wilton Manors, only small city to make LGBTQ plus Airbnb travelers world's top 10 list. Airbnb, the online marketplace for short-term and long-term stays, proudly supports the LGBTQ plus community by providing safe spaces for queer travelers and hosts. Airbnb analyzed host listing and customer reviews, yielding some totally gay results for a June Pride Month announcement. They identified the top 10 LGBTQ plus destinations and found that inclusive language significantly incentivizes LGBTQ plus travelers, who constitute a large portion of leisure travelers. A study revealed that 41% of LGBTQ plus travel respondents use Airbnb, 8% higher than American leisure travelers overall. Airbnb also noted a 90% increase in hosts using inclusive language since 2017. Positive LGBTQ plus experiences were linked to inclusive language and welcoming environments. The results are now in. Based on customer reviews, Airbnb's top-rated cities for LGBTQ plus travelers include major cities: Toronto, San Diego, Puerto Vallarta, Wilton Manors, Paris, Madrid, Chicago, Seattle, New York City, and London. Fun fact, Wilton Manors is the only small city that has made it to the list of 10 best in the world for LGBTQ plus Airbnb in the current political ambiance, where conservative organizations and parties are adding fuel to the anti-LGBTQ plus rhetoric. It is refreshing to see our small city is still offering a safe place to the worldwide LGBTQ plus community. These statistics are also a reminder of how businesses can thrive if they are inclusive. You know, now more than ever, gay people, LGBTQ plus people want to spend their money in places that they are supported, in places that they're welcomed, you know, and with all the anti-LGBTQ plus rhetoric, we have to be careful of where we go. We really depend on reviews. We really depend on inclusive descriptions to let us know that we are going to go stay in a safe place. Your Airbnb is your home.
Yeah.
Away from home, and you've got to feel safe there.
Yeah, no, that's very important. My first international trip, I was a flight attendant way back in the day. Continental, if y'all.
I think I saw United now. That's right. Yeah, that's right.
And my first time traveling across the pond to go to Paris, my best friend and I were like, we don't know anywhere safe. We don't know, and this is pre-Airbnb, pre-social media and things of that nature. And we had to go off of reviews and everything online, and we ended up finding, I think, Mr. B&B or something like that.
Okay.
And staying with a lovely gay couple in Paris.
Oh, I love it.
That had started in America, and then their love affair ended up in Paris. But it was so beautiful. But we really do depend on these types of things, like you were saying.
Yeah. Harrison, I'm going to ask you, because you are that top Google stars person, 6 million people are wanting to know what you have to say about their business.
Well,
like
you know, I appreciate Jamal bringing up, you know, the turning back the clock a little bit, and you know, although I still see that logo sometimes sitting on the side of the planes. I did not know what that was about. Branding mishap, perhaps. But anyway, back to the matter at hand. You know, 20 years ago, you know, somebody said we're going to put the biggest taxi fleet in the world together without a single cab, you know, Uber, or in this case, we're going to put the biggest overnight accommodation aspect together without a single hotel. You know, I would be like, that's crazy, but here it is, being Airbnb in the flesh. I think it's also really a testament to how, like, the businesses, the hunters, the venues, the Sunsers, the Claudia Castillo art galleries really need to stand on their own right now, because people are seeking out this community to stay in, to make it this destination for Airbnb. We do not have any hotels, although, as you know, there is one coming. So I think it's kind of ironic that we got that kind of just, you know, that distinction in this time with, you know, all the controversy surrounding the hotel. But with that said, you know, I mean, it's an honor, and I think reviews, people leaving feedback, people providing imagery to give it that accreditation is what we need, and it sounds like it's been taken off pretty well.
Yeah, and I've got to be happy that Wilton Manors is like the only small city in that big list of other cities. Was that what you were going to say?
Yeah, no, no. I think we've been on the show too long. Yeah, absolutely, that's exactly what I was going to say. I was going to say Toronto, San Diego, Paris. Yeah. Like, I mean,
get out of my head.
I know, right? I love you.
We're in very good company. That's for sure.
No, but seriously, but like these are major cities, and here you have little Wilton, right beside Miami, but Wilton gets the destination as being like a safe place.
Not Miami. Miami's not on there.
Miami's not on there. And I'll tell you this, working at Pride Lines, we get calls or emails all the time, whether it's from people from other places or businesses who ask the question, is it safe to come there? We had TD Insurance, which is not to be confused with TD Bank. TD Bank is only in Canada. They came to Miami Beach and they had some legitimate concerns about whether they were actually going to host this major conference where they fly down 300 employees for this like stars week. They had questions about whether they were going to do it because of some of the things that they heard in the media about, impacting the trans community. So these ratings are so important.
Yeah.
And little old Wilton with all these major cities, I think is pretty amazing.
Yeah.
I just love it. I think it's great. And I know sometimes, some people who have questions about Wilton are the question is diversity. There's a lot of work to be done in Wilton.
Of course.
But it is a safe hub for us as a community.
It is a safe hub.
I could walk there and feel safe and not. Listen, I was walking with my little pum shorts, and David saw me yesterday, right? You know, and I felt free to do that.
Yeah.
In certain communities, I may not. Going back to the South Bronx, do I do that? No,
maybe
not.
I
think my shorts are a little bit longer usually when I'm home in the South Bronx, where I'm from. And I'm from there, but my shorts are a little bit longer. No, but seriously, I think it's something to celebrate, something to be happy about. And we do rely on these reviews to know whether a community is safe or not, whether Airbnb is safe or not.
Yeah.
Thank God for these reviews. I've seen a review that said that all that was in the house was Trump signs. You think I'm going to stay there?
No,
no,
of course
right?
not. But that's good to know,
but it's good
right?
to know this information. So I think that this is great for us.
Zelki, I'm going to be devil's advocate on this one, though, okay?
Sure.
Because, I love Wilton Manors. I spend my hard-earned money there. I spend my free time there. My friends live there, right? But not a lot of my friends can afford to live there. Okay. Do these Airbnbs take away that possibility of renters, that LGBTQ plus renters living in Wilton Manors?
No, I don't think this. I don't think so. I think, the city itself, yes, is tending to become very pricey, I think, in terms of real estate and in terms of the businesses. And you're seeing a lot of like small businesses maybe relocating to outside cities like Oakland Park and Pompano and stuff. So you are seeing that little bit of a shift. But, they're out. I know that they're moving, I think, the Pride Factory, I think, down the street.
They're moving to the old Wilton Collective.
So there's adjustments to be made all around. So, but I just think that it's so wonderful that we have, a device like Airbnb out there, and there's just getting more LGBTQ plus exposure for us. But yeah, I agree. Just to see it in the top 10 of anything, just let alone cities like New York and Paris, and it's just fantastic. So it just speaks well of who we are as leaders in this community, especially because I live in Wilton Manors. So it's personal for me because I've been here 13 years and I've seen such a progress in like leadership and people stepping up and just coming even out of the pandemic too. I think there was a new charge with all of it.
So
I love that.
Sorry, go ahead, Jamal.
I wanted to make mention of Wilton Manors being there, but also I've been seeing the spread of not only the acceptance of LGBTQ plus activity, but Oakland Park Pride, this last one, I was blown away. And I was just so happy to see the spread up Dixie Highway. And even with, when you search Airbnb and you find that little map and you find Wilton Manors or you find little communities, you also find other communities that are more acceptive as well because of the example that's being set right down the street. So I think this also draws attention to just the Fort Lauderdale area, our little bubble here, you know?
Yeah.
It draws attention to other places that might not be as pricey as Wilton Manors, but might be just as cleanly, as clean and well taken care of.
And it's good to see a lot of like the communities building like LGBTQ plus. There's like for the chorus, there's groups all the time that want to come and see the show. And so there's one that's North Beach LGBTQ plus, and I think they're in the Lighthouse Point area. So it's so great to see that there's activity, surrounding Wilton, and it spreads, because they see the good work that we're doing.
It's a good spread. It's a good spread. Not like that.
But
you need like
a lot of work.
Stuff.
There's still a lot of work to do. But
Edward, what were you going to say last comment?
So this is the last comment, but like I think there's a lot of work to do in terms of just affordability. Wilton is getting very expensive, and it's not as affordable for some communities, particularly communities of color. The trans community, it's very, very, very expensive. And I think that if we're to maintain Wilton as this gay hub, that's something that the municipality has to look at is housing affordability. And maybe it's the role of the housing municipality to develop affordable units to make it affordable. And also to make it continue to be gay. Because what tends to happen, and this is study after study, we look at New York, we look at some of the major cities, the gays move to a community, they make it nice and beautiful, and guess what happens? No offense against you straights out there, you come in and you gentrify and displace the community. And so we, I love this destination, but I think you brought up a real issue, Faye, the fact that, the municipality really does have to look at this if it's to maintain its place, with these 10 major cities.
Completely. Very true.